Jury didn't believe it. The jury did not believe it. I mean, that is super clear today. The jury inside that courtroom did not believe Amber Heard. But why didn't they believe her? Let's bring in our guests. Incredible experience and perspectives, all of them. Joining me tonight in Los Angeles, California, forensic psychiatrist, trial expert witness, columnist, Dr. Carole Lieberman. Dr. Carole Lieberman, why didn't this jury, all 7 of them, they didn't believe Amber Heard?
Yes, well, first of all, I agree with all of those reasons. And also her testimony didn't make sense. You know, it was inconsistent. She would say one thing one day and another thing the next day. It didn't make sense. You know, there were 2 women on the jury, and they knew that any woman who would have allegedly gotten cavity searched and raped by a bottle would have gone to the emergency room right away, or the next day to some doctor. So right away, that was, you know, not credible. Also, there were a lot of witnesses who contradicted things that she said. Also, you know, there's a saying in marketing, you have to be likable in order for people to buy your things. Like if you want to sell books, or if you want to sell your story as an abuse victim, you have to be likable first. And she was anything but likable. Her diagnoses, you know, there was some feigning and malingering that Johnny Depp's psychologist talked about in regard to her psychological testing. What else? Her body language. And also, you know, I watched pretty much everything. And the only person that I remember seeing as saying that she actually saw Johnny Depp hit her or physically abuse her in any way was her sister. And obviously her sister is going to say something to, you know, to protect Amber, to further Amber's cause. So all of these things, and in contrast to Johnny, who was so likable, who was so vulnerable, who you could just tell from sitting across from him that he was telling the truth.
Powerful moment towards the end of the trial. But here's my question, and it's related to what she did here. And the results of this case being so public. Still with us, Holly Davis, Dr. Carole Lieberman, Janine Driver. Here's the question I have for you. Will this case deter other people from making false accusations? Will this case make real victims think twice about making accusations? Let's start with Dr. Carole Lieberman.
Well, first of all, we need to look at which victims. You know, that seems to assume that you seem to be talking about women victims. But this whole thing has been looked at, you know, the Me Too movement has really had a powerful run. And I think that this case and the outcome of this case has really shown that it's time the tide needs to go back the other way so that things get balanced out. Johnny Depp is, you know, sort of has become the figure of the He Too movement, whether he wanted that or not. Men who are abused, who have been afraid to come forward, who don't report abuse. Less men report abuse than women. It's not because of the actual numbers of abuse. So now more men, through Johnny Depp being courageous and telling his story, they will come forward more because, you know, instead of seeming weak, they realize that it's actually strength to be a man and come forward and talk about it.
I hope now that this trial is over that you'll continue to come back and help us with all the stories that we're covering. So thanks again, and have a great night and a great weekend coming up.